Huge news in the world of video games. We're going to talk about Resident Evil, Dead Rising, and a bunch of interesting information coming out of Steam. Let's get started. What's up? I'm DBFig, and this is Double Jump News. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's keep this channel growing. Thank you so much for being awesome. So, let's start off strong. Let's talk about the original trilogy for Resident Evil. Yes, the ones for the PlayStation 1. I am not talking about the remasters. For a very long time, people wanted those games on PC. And they've remastered the game and put out some versions of it on PC for a very long time. But not like the pure versions of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Well, they just did, and they released it on GOG. So, if you wanted the original PlayStation 1 style version of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, go to GOG.com right now and you can pick up the entire bundle for $24.99. If you've never heard of GOG, GOG is, I won't say a direct Steam competitor because Steam is so huge. GOG is kind of their own thing. They were known as Good Old Games, a place to buy old PC games without any type of security DRM. So once you bought the game, that's it. It's like you just have the game on your PC. You could download it anytime you want. You don't have to be logged into GOG, kind of like you have to be logged into Steam to access it. There's just there's no quote unquote piracy stuff behind it. It's just boom, it's yours. Well, now they're all on GOG.com, which is pretty cool, and I know a lot of people are excited for that. The other interesting thing, and it's just a teaser for now, Capcom just announced a brand new remaster of Dead Rising. Yes, Frank West is back. He covered wars, you know. It's been a long time since I said that meme. But here's the thing. A lot of people love Dead Rising. I love Dead Rising. We have very little information on it yet. But in the teaser trailer, which the actual trailer is here on this channel right now, you can actually see a quick shot of Frank West. And that's kind of all we got. So it's most likely going to be coming to all platforms. It's most likely probably at the end of this year, early next year. But the fact that they announced it and put out this teaser is very exciting. The last bit of information has to deal with Steam. The first bit I'll cover real briefly because it's just some interesting notes. Game controller use on PC has been growing. Back in the day, that would have been considered blasphemy. Using a controller to play your games on PC? What are you doing? And then it kind of shifted a bit to, hey, some games just play better using a controller instead of keyboard and mouse, which I'm in that camp. Because if I'm playing like a first-person shooter or like a strategy game, I'm going to use a keyboard and mouse. But if I'm playing something like, I don't know, Spider-Man or God of War or I don't know, something that really needs a controller. The new Elden Ring Erdtree DLC. I'm going to use a controller plugged into my PC so I can get the best of both worlds of all the benefits of PC, but also the comfortable nature of using a controller. And I'm somebody who grew up on both keyboard and mouse and controllers. It's just gaming to me. But here's the thing. It seems that more and more people are coming to PC, but also more games are very controller friendly. So Steam put out some information and they said over the last couple of years, from 2018 to now, it has tripled in use. Daily use of a controller for games have tripled from 5% to 15%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to understand the biggest games on Steam are games that really work on a keyboard and mouse. That's stuff like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, things in that nature. Those are always the biggest, most played games, and most of those are played on a keyboard and mouse. Well, other games, a lot of the ports and whatnot, are now being used for a controller much more. But what type of controller is being used the most out of this whole group? Well, the biggest use by far is Xbox controllers. People plugging in their Xbox One or their Xbox Series XS controller into the PC and using it. 59% of those in their database are using controllers to play games. But the next one down at 26% are PlayStation controllers. And the last one is a bit interesting. The last one are Steam Decks, which tells me a couple things. That not only does Valve consider the Steam Deck as a success, and it is selling a lot, but not only do they consider it a platform, they're considering it as a controller as well, which makes sense. I mean, it's all built in. But I just found that piece of information kind of interesting. Do you play games with a controller on your PC? Let me know. Steam just announced a built-in function for game recording. So you don't have to use OBS, you don't have to use Fraps, if people still use Fraps, you don't have to use any of that type of stuff. It's built into Steam. It's in beta right now. So if you want access to this particular beta, it's very easy. All you got to do is go to the Steam settings, go to interface, and go to beta participation. And you have to choose between the overall beta update or the Steam families update, just depending on how your account is set up. Once you're accepted, then all you got to do is go back into the Steam settings, go to game recording, and you could choose from background recording or on-demand recording. And this is very important because, yes, it's just not a pure recorder. This thing will actually look for key moments in the background recording and actually record clips that you could share to social media, their MP4 format, and you can even share them inside Steam chat itself. So if you have a clip that you just want to show to your buddy, you could contact them through the Steam chat function and send them a clip. It's all built in. It's even tied to key moments. It can even be tied to event markers that you decide on, and also Steam achievements. So if you do this grand achievement and you have background recording on, it will record that piece of information, which is pretty cool. And also, they're being very transparent on the size. The system is also going to determine on how much space they can use. And you could determine and you could dictate, hey, I want this much space to be used for the limits of the hard drive. To give an example, if you're trying to do something like the good quality settings, like default quality settings is 12 megabytes per second, right? And you record for 2 hours, not background, just a pure on-demand recording. You turned it on and you're playing for 2 hours. That's going to be about 10.8 gigabytes. And that's their default setting. So if you need a lot less space, they allow you to go down in quality. But just know, again, it's going down in quality. Honestly, I think this is something that Steam has been needing for a very long time. I mean, now you don't need to open up your OBS. You don't need to open up a third-party application to record footage if you want to record footage. You could actually just record it with Steam itself, set all the parameters, set it to either that you turn on manually or it's just some type of background function that turns on, depending on what's going on screen, or if you hit an achievement. This is something very useful. Again, if you want to participate in the beta, just do what I said, follow those steps, and you'll be in the beta. But what are your thoughts on all this? Leave them in the comment section below. As always, thank you for being awesome.